So again, when I started self-improvement, I had this plan of what I wanted to work on. And, I had this gym plan that I wanted to do that wasn't very good. It was something like I literally grabbed my phone, typed it into the phone, 3-day a week workout plan. And I saw this plan come up. It had a lot of body weight exercise in it. I didn't have a lot of equipment at the time, so I figured it'd be great for me. So it wasn't a very good workout plan, but I stick with it for almost 4 months without changing it because this is the plan I made and I need to stick to this plan. And it was not, some of it was good, but I was following it way too strictly. Like, if it said to do 15 reps, I would grab the weight that I could do 15 reps with. Maybe do 15 reps of shoulder press and then throw the weights down. I didn't, go to failure. I didn't do anything like that. I would just do the reps and then put it down, be done. And that was not great because it really it didn't really help me a lot because I didn't have the right intensity, I didn't have the right workout plan. But since I just wanted to stick with that plan because that was the plan I made, I really stayed with it for like 4 months before realizing I need to change something. And I know a lot of guys get into this, and I know I did a lot when I was younger, is that I would make a plan for a goal, and I would never get off that plan unless I just quit the goal entirely. And, I was going through quotes the other day, looking for thumbnails, looking for things like that, maybe just some inspiration. And I saw one that really stood out to me. I can't remember who made the quote, but the quote was, if the plan doesn't work, change the plan, never the goal. Because as you can see, we have goals in our mind, especially as men. We're always going to have huge goals that we want to achieve. We're going to want to retire our parents, maybe be a fitness influencer and trainer, maybe pro wrestler, something like that. And these are the things I want to do with my life. I don't care how they happen. I want to do it with my life. And if that means doing things I don't want to do right now, fine. But the thing is, I'm never going to get there if I stick to a plan that doesn't work. And you're never going to get anywhere in life if you stick to a plan that doesn't work. So this whole video, I'm going to talk about how you can figure out if a plan is working or not, and how to change a plan if it's not working. Because that is really a very, very, very important part about being successful. It is realizing this isn't working. How do I change it so it works? But not thinking this isn't working. I just give up on my goal entirely. Because if we do that, there are always going to be things that don't work. I'm always going to have that moment where I'm like, I'm not really making progress. Should I really be doing this? But if I always say, nah, just quit, I'm never going to get anywhere in life. I'm never going to have what I want. I need everybody. I know I'm talking about me right now, but everybody needs to learn how to change plans without quitting their goal. So, how do we do that? Well, first, you have to make sure the plan isn't working and it's not just you. So, maybe if you're trying to lose weight and it's been a month and you haven't lost any weight, clearly something is wrong. But if you're trying to lose weight, it's been a month, you haven't weighed yourself, and you think you look the same, you need something more substantial than, oh, I look the same. Try and find really grounded evidence that your plan does not work. Maybe have a journal and write down things that don't work. Maybe, I don't take pictures of yourself. Maybe if you're trying to be, bigger and stronger, take pictures of yourself so you can see how much your muscles have grown. Do lots of heavy compound lifts. Check out your maxes to make sure that you're still getting stronger every month or so, something like that. So first, you need concrete evidence. You don't want something like, oh, I think this isn't working. You have to know the plan is not working. Otherwise, you might be throwing away a good plan for a worse plan, and we don't want that to happen. We want you to know that this plan isn't working so you can change it. So then next, how do you make a new plan? Well, in Psycho-Cybernetics, really great book. Recommend you read it, by the way. Everybody should be reading this book. it talks about how, oh shoot, I just lost it. It talks about a lot of like about the mind and the body and how things work, but it also talks about your subconscious a lot. And one of the things it talks about is how your subconscious will work through a problem if you just give it the time to. So if you just put this thought in your mind, how do I change this plan? Like maybe you're not losing weight. How do I lose weight? 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 And then forget about it for a little bit. Just maybe go to sleep, do something like that. And then when you wake up, your subconscious will have worked through plans to do because that's what your subconscious does. It works through things that you haven't figured out yet that you want to figure out, but maybe you forgot about. So maybe you'll have a plan. Like maybe your subconscious, like maybe we should get a fitness tracker. Maybe we should get a food scale. Maybe that's why we're not losing weight because we're not weighing our food now. We don't know how much we're eating. Maybe we should do something like that. So it's just something that really helps show like your subconscious, all right, this is the plan. How do I get there? And your subconscious will do these things for you. That's why a lot of the times when people, they lay down and they go to bed with like a question on their mind, and when they finally fall asleep, they wake up the next day and they know exactly what the answer is. It's because when you fall asleep or something like that, more feet pics. Oh my goodness. When you fall asleep or something like that, your subconscious immediately starts working on those problems in your mind that have been sent down there from your conscious to your subconscious. And while you sleep, you work through that problem. Maybe you dream about it or something like that. When you wake up, you have the answer because you've been thinking about it for 5 hours, even if you haven't realized it. So subconscious is a very powerful tool that we can be using a lot, especially to help us when we don't know what to do. All right. So we've got that out of the way. But what do I mean by never the goal? Well, it's very simple. If your plan doesn't work, that's fine. We can deal with a plan not working. But let's say it is your absolute dream to become an astronaut, and maybe you your plan is to do 100 pull-ups every week so you can be strong enough to be an astronaut, but maybe that doesn't work. Maybe you aren't being seen by NASA. Maybe nobody thinks you're strong enough. You're still not strong enough. Well, something needs to change. But the thing that is going to change is not going to be that you want to be an astronaut. It's going to be how are you going to be an astronaut? And this is really how we should be thinking about plans. They're not the end thing. They're not like this is how I be an astronaut. It might be how I become an astronaut. It's your plan should not be your end goal. It should be your how am I going to get there? And with a lot of things, how are you going to get there will always change. Like in math, you can, with multiplication, let's say, maybe 5 times 5 off the top of your head. So you just 5 times 5. Your plan is to multiply 5 by 5 and you get 25. But maybe you don't know what 5 times 5 is off of your head, but you know what 5 times 3 is, and you know what 5 times 2 is. So you multiply 5 times 3, you multiply 5 times 2, and then you add them together. 25, 25. Maybe you don't even know any multiplication, but you know multiplication is just adding a number a certain amount of times. So you see 5 times 5, and you see 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. Still 25. You see how the goal was to figure out what 5 times 5 is. And there are many ways to go about doing that that all will get you the same answer. But you never change the goal when maybe you don't know how to multiply 5 times 5, but you don't change the goal from multiplying 5 times 5. You change the plan to realize, oh, I can't do this. So how about I split it up a bit into manageable portions? That's exactly what we should be doing. Maybe we realize, oh, I can't make this happen. So why don't I split it up to I can make this part happen and maybe this part will happen later. So just breaking plans up in manageable proportions will also really help because it helps you realize one, is a plan efficient? Like 5 times 5 obviously more efficient. But if you have to write out 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, that is not very efficient than just writing 25. So is the plan efficient? But is that plan manageable? Because we don't want to give you an efficient plan that you cannot succeed in. Like, let's say I want to read a book, just a simple book like this one right here. It's just a book. So maybe I want to read this entire book in a month. So I want to read what? 50 pages a day. That would be efficient if I wanted to read this entire book in a month because there's like 800 pages in this book. So if I need to read 800 pages in 30 days, I have to read, well, I have to read a lot. I have to read a little less than 50 pages, but you understand my point. But maybe I can't read. Then how am I going to be able to read the book? See how the plan might work, but maybe you don't have the ability to get the plan yet. So make sure that you have the plan that is very manageable. Like you want to get stronger by doing 100-kilo deadlifts. But if you can't lift 100 kilos yet, don't lift 100 kilos. Build up to that 100 kilos and then do the deadlifts. Because the only way a plan will work is if it's possible for you to do the plan, if that makes any sense. But there's also one other player plan will work. And I'm sure everybody knows what I'm about to say. You have to do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Bye bye.